goblin appearing in broad daylight to the legendary Jersey Devil. Here are 13 bizarre paranormal creatures. Welcome to Crypto Fun Fridays. Number 13. Tunnelpfeifer. Its name translates to the Tunnelpfeifer and is thought to be a fairly new cryptid discovered in 2012. It supposedly exists in underground tunnels and subways of Germany. It's said to be a mole-like critter that lives in the U-Bahn, although it has never actually been witnessed. But many people have reported hearing a strange whistling sound occurring at night that is attributed to the cryptid. This one seems to have as many doubters as believers. Where do you stand? Estries. These female vampires are found in Jewish folklore and were thought to feed primarily on men. They're said to be beautiful demons, not unlike succubi, and would also attack children and pregnant women, sometimes simply out of spite or jealousy. While Estries usually appeared as human females, they did have shape-shifting capabilities and can assume the forms of cats, birds, or other animals. It's said that burial alone is not enough to keep an Estrie from returning. The only way to kill them for good is to pack its mouth with earth or be decapitated or burned and then buried. Popobawa. Sightings of this bizarre creature have been reported since the 1970s. It's found in Zanzibar and is sometimes described as a one-eyed dwarf with wings with a habit of attacking people. Also regarded as an evil spirit, the Popobawa is a shapeshifter that can assume many forms, whether human or animal. Its origin is often traced to a sheikh who lost control of a jinn or genie. That jinn then went on to make a dreaded name for itself. The creature has been responsible for inciting mass panics across Zanzibar in the mid-1990s. Saci. This one is often considered the best-known character in Brazilian folklore. He's usually portrayed as a one-legged young man who has holes in the palms of his hands and smokes a pipe. He can vanish and reappear at will thanks to a magic red cap that he wears. In some areas of Brazil, he's considered a fairly harmless prankster, but in other areas, he's thought to be malicious and evil. Did you know that if you manage to steal his magic red cap, sah-SEE is said to grant you some wishes? But we couldn't find out how many. Monopods. These bizarre creatures are considered quite human-like, although they do differ in a serious regard. They have one leg extending from the middle of the body, from which extends a huge foot. The legs were powerful enough to allow them to leap with extraordinary agility, and when it was hot, the monopods would lay on the back and use the huge foot to shade the face. They appeared in ancient Greece and Rome and into the Middle Ages. The Black Bed of Chernobyl. The Chernobyl disaster occurred in 1986, and in the days leading up to that catastrophe, witnesses claimed to see a large, dark creature with blazing red eyes. Several people reported encounters with the creature, and they later received strange phone calls and had horrific nightmares. After the reactors exploded on April 26, survivors and rescue pilots related stories of seeing a huge black figure flying from the smoke of the destroyed site, never to be seen again. Cryptozoologists have noted parallels between this story and the legend of the Mothman in the US. Both creatures were thought to be harbingers of destruction, and the creatures were described as having an appearance similar to one another. Could there be a connection? Now, these bizarre critters appeared in ancient Libya and are often called Headless Men. While lacking a head, they had facial features that appeared on the chest and were said to appear in two types, those with eyes on the chest and those with eyes on the shoulders. They were first mentioned by Herodotus, the Greek historian, as living near the edge of ancient Libya. Sightings were also reported during the Middle Ages in Ethiopia, where they were described as standing 12 feet tall and 7 feet wide. Blemmyes may not have been the smartest creatures around, though. Their name essentially translates to, quote, without brains, end quote. dih-BIKS. These evil creatures are found in Jewish mythology, and they're known to incite all types of chaos, from wrecking property to causing illness to making unnerving sounds and emitting foul odors. Although they appear on a mission to make people's existence into a hell on earth, they can be brought under control, so long as they're trapped in a container called a Dybbuk box. But that is a complicated procedure. Locking them in the box can only be done by a rabbi. Horned demon cat. Now, these cryptids were first reported during World War II. A man was hiding in his home from German aircraft when he claimed to be attacked by a large cat, one that had horns sprouting from its head, sharp claws, and eyes that glowed red. After letting out an unearthly howl, it disappeared. According to legend, the previous owner of the man's home was known to practice black magic and often killed stray cats as a sacrifice for his rituals. Locals also mentioned seeing strange feline creatures roaming about the property. A clairvoyant who investigated the house claimed the demon cat was summoned by the spirits of the slaughtered felines and may persist there forever. Springheeled Jack. His name was a reference to his ability to make incredible leaps. The first claimed sighting of this creature occurred in Victorian England in 1837. Witnesses described him as having the demeanor of a gentleman, appearing tall and thin, and wearing a black cloak. But his actions were far from gallant. He assaulted women, compiling a long list of victims. They claimed Jack had blazing crimson eyes, metallic claws for hands, and could spew white and blue fire from his mouth. As the Times reported his attacks, his infamy and legend grew, with sightings reported from England to Scotland. Now, ironically, as his celebrity increased, sightings of Jack decreased and seemed to taper off in the early 20th century. No one was ever apprehended or positively ID'd as Springheeled Jack, but descriptions of a similar creature have occurred in the 21st century. Wendigo. It's said to favor cold winter weather and is found from Canada to the US along the Atlantic coast. The Wendigo can be either an evil spirit or a cannibalistic monster. The Wendigo can possess a human victim and turn them into a monster, or it can appear like a beast that exhibits human characteristics. Now, in this form, they're described as gaunt and standing some 14 feet high with ashy gray skin, not unlike a huge animated skeleton that emits a stench of decay. Most witnesses agree they have sharp yellow fangs, long tongues, and glowing eyes. Legend says that Wendigos actually started off as humans that resorted to cannibalism or committed another sin like murder when they were transformed. Now, did you know some cryptozoologists say it's possible that Bigfoot could have inspired stories about the Wendigo? Paranormal activity. Some kids in Argentina may have had a paranormal experience in broad daylight. They were playing soccer when they noticed what appeared to be a strange, dark creature on the field. Footage shot by one of the players reveals the group chasing the ball until the camera operator locates a mysterious figure to the side. It's not identifiable as human or animal, but it does appear to be crawling forward slowly and awkwardly. After zooming in on the creature, the boy starts to scream, and the group runs away from the mysterious critter. Local media reported that the children were too frightened to return to the field and claimed the creature may have been a goblin, small, repulsive creatures that were first mentioned in European folklore during the Middle Ages. Could it have been a paranormal encounter? And before we get to our number one choice here, we found a couple of interesting paranormal critters while researching the episode, but there wasn't always so much information available about them, so we'll give them an honorable mention. The Buck Riders. Now, that's a name that refers to demons or ghosts that are found in Dutch folklore. It's said that Satan provided them with flying goats that carried them through the skies. They first appeared in the 18th century and rode the bucks or goats at night. And how about the mysterious Black Stick Man? Witnesses have reported seeing this strange thing in broad daylight as a stick figure come to life. They seem to walk with a strange gait, but are completely devoid of facial features. Do you think he could be related to Slender Man? The Jersey Devil. This cryptid has haunted the Pine Barrens of New Jersey for some 3 centuries and is said to be a bipedal creature that resembles a kangaroo. It's often described as being capable of flight, having leathery wings, hooves, a goat-like head with horns, clawed hands, and a forked tail. It's said to emit a horrifying scream and moves rapidly. A picture of this cryptid was taken in 2015 by a fellow named Dave Black that was flying over a golf course when he took the picture. Soon after, Mr. Black says the creature spread its wings and flew away. The picture was never digitally enhanced or manipulated according to the photographer, and it does seem to depict a quadruped creature with wings. Could it really be the Jersey Devil?